What is up, you guys? The Fallout with here. And today I'm doing my what if Deku had hyper regeneration. Now, you all know about his ability to not die, and also to actually regenerate his limbs and his body parts and everything else. Heck, even a stab to the heart would possibly be nothing more than child's play to him. But when Deku got, how should I say this? Well, when Deku went to, school, or UA, he, all for one, gave him a barrier quirk. But it's not a barrier quirk, it's more like a construction quirk. A construct quirk. Basically, think of, Green Lantern, but his abilities, but technically Green Lantern's abilities are far more stronger and actually better and useful, while Deku is just purely an imitation kind of thing. He can make walls, he can technically make a train, he can make a robot, but at the same time, they cost stamina. For Green Lantern, it costs willpower. But due to his hyper regeneration, stamina won't be an issue. So, let's begin. Deku actually goes to school, and I'm going to say that Deku actually doesn't go to the entrance exam, because he doesn't actually need to do it. He got the recommendation thing after having a couple of people, be convinced on how strong he is. And not only that, how useful his quirk is. So, Deku actually walks around places until he realizes that he's actually about to pass up Class 1A. So he stops, and he basically says, alright. Now, we cut to a point in the past where Deku talks to All For One. All For One saying this: Deku, I understand that you want to help us out, but you're going to be in Class 1A, or you're going to be going to school. But because of the abilities I gave you, which was just the construct quirk or the barrier quirk, he doesn't have to actually go and take the exams. Not only that, he gave him a rule: don't try to help us out in our villainous work. Be a hero. Now, some of you guys may be thinking, why would I do this? And that's just simple. Well, for me, it's simple. Because he wants him to not even... How do I say it? He doesn't want anyone to be suspicious on him. Not only that, he's ordered all of his men to attack him, but make sure to think of him as anybody else that they would attack. Due to the fact that Deku is trying to do hero work because he's kind of bored. He thinks to himself, well, all this training and everything that he's done so far would be for nothing if he doesn't try to do his own thing. And not only that, he's just, being patient with the boy. He doesn't want to ruin his childhood as much as he already did ruin his childhood. Now, All For One says, now, be a good boy and go to school. Deku will say yes, father, because of the whole fact that he doesn't remember who he is. He just knows that All For One is his dad. Now, Shigaraki, he's pretty much chill. He's chilled with Deku. Although he always tries to win his father's love, and sometimes he does fail, he hates Deku for it. But at the same time, he respects Deku to the fact that it's not as bad. Like, he may get angry at him, but in the very end, he's not gonna hurt him. It's just the fact that he's kind of jealous. He's a little too jelly. So, anyway, Deku would actually be able to fight off anybody, and we'll just start off. We'll start off the series. Now, Deku will go to Class 1A, and he meets everybody. He meets his new classmates. He meets his teacher, and he says, "Well, I would like to just fight them and, well, beat them up, or my father would just kill them. But you know what? Let's see how this works." And Deku gets, very kind of excited at the fact that he gets to do something for once. And even though he helps out All For One at times with, trying to catch somebody or give somebody details or something like that, he actually gets to see if he can do hero work. And he knows deep down inside, he's like, I know this won't be a forever thing, but he might as well enjoy it for a while. So, he meets everybody, and Bakugo's there, and Bakugo doesn't even know who he is. But he still has that kind of, angry part of him, where he's just, willing to fight anybody. Now, Deku and Bakugo sit next to each other, and people are like, "Wait, who is this guy?" I was like, did any of you guys see him? And they're like, No, we didn't. People know about Momo and Todoroki already, due to some other people going to schools with them. And Deku's just like, "Oh, okay, we'll just sit here," and people are like, "Hey, buddy, what's your quirk?" And this actually comes from Kaminari. Kaminari's actually interested in how he is. Deku says, "Oh, my name is Izuku." And he has a different name. I forgot what his name though. But I think it would have been let's just call him his name. His name will be Izuku. We'll call him Deku either way. So Deku just talks to Kaminari, and he also talks to Kirishima. Now these two get interested on who he is, and Deku says, "Well, I have two quirks, a half and half quirk." And everybody's like, "What?" And Todoroki's like taking notes here, like, half and half quirk as well. Okay, I see. And Deku says, "It's called, my ability, or my quirk is to regenerate. And my other quirk is called construct." And this is when Bakugo says, "Yeah, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to be the one who's going to be a class, I forgot what I was gonna say. He was going to say that he was going to be the number one hero, and Deku says, You're, and who are you though?" It's like Deku wasn't, convinced about what Bakugo said. He was like, "Who are you, by the way?" And he says, "My name is Katsuki Bakugo. You have the honor to know my name." And Deku says, "Oh boy." And he's like, he kind of reminds me of a Pomeranian and a pineapple. A pineapple and a Pomeranian. He's a fruity bitch. And the two people are just laughing, and they're like holding their breath. And this is when Bakugo gets mad, and he pretty much grabs Deku's shirt. And he says that, "Oh wow, I said it too loud." Bakugo is about to shoot out a freaking... Well, he's going to shoot out his freaking explosion on him. and Deku gets, like, burnt in the face. And Bakugo realizes what he has done, and he's like, well, you shouldn't have made fun of me either way. This isn't my fault. And Deku says, no, it's not your fault at all. It was my fault. And this is when everybody, like, was scared, and now they're like, wait, what's happening here? And all they see is Deku. His face, even though it's burnt, and even though his eyes are technically kind of, like, basically, like, crying in a way, because of the whole fact that, like, he got hit in the eyes. Of course, your eyes are gonna water a bit. But Deku just pretty much says, it hurts a lot, but I'll be okay. And everybody sees how his skin is just basically being healed up at a fast pace. And they're saying it's like, it's too fast right there for any normal human to be healed that way. And Deku says, my quirk is named hyper regeneration. Not only that, my powers are called construct. This is when Deku hears Bakugo say that, and, well, Bakugo hears Deku say, how is that a thing? It's like, this should be impossible. Nobody can regenerate that fast. And Deku says, well, he can. And even so, he let him take the first punch. And this is when Bakugo says, you want to go at it again? And Deku says, I would love to. And he grabs his, he actually grabs something out of his hand, and it's like it's like a hilt. And they're like, he has a hilt? But where's the rest of his sword? And basically, he thinks about it, he thinks very hard, and the construct quirk basically makes a sword out of him. Or he makes the blade parts. And they're all like, oh wow, that's kind of cool right there. And Deku says, you want to go now? And Bakugo's about to, like, do the same thing again, but this is when pretty much he gets strangled, or he gets tied up, by freaking Aizawa. Aizawa says, what are you two boys doing? And Deku says, well, I was just pretty much minding my own business until he started to chant. I did kind of call him a Pomeranian pineapple, but that was my fault, so I take, I take, what's the word? I take full responsibility for the actions. It was entirely my fault. You shouldn't blame him for my mistakes. And this is when Aizawa says, so you're willing to take the mistakes, huh? Alright then. Deku is still not going to get in trouble. Bakugo is. Because he was the only one to apologize, and freaking Bakugo wasn't. So, he gets to actually not do anything for a while, such as be first place, because since he was first place in the exam, everybody thinks, oh wow, it's like, now we have to have him go and not Bakugo. So what I mean by that is, Deku goes first instead of Bakugo. Now, they said that they're going to do the exams, and everybody is like ecstatic, and they're like, wait, don't we have to like go to the school thing, like where we say like hello, who are we, and all that stuff. Aizawa says that's just a waste of time. And this is when Deku says, well, I'm willing to go. And everybody just basically goes to the locker rooms. They all get dressed up. And they all see that Deku has scars on him. Because remember, just because he has hyper regeneration doesn't mean scars aren't going to appear. It's because of his hyper regeneration that it closes too fast for the skin to actually do its thing. So, yeah, he has a lot of scars on his body. From cuts, to bullet wounds, to, well, his bruises already, The bruising is already there, is never there, but you know the scars are still there. So everybody's like talking about like these are epic scars. Kirishima says, you know, it's the manliest scars. And all you see is freaking Mineta like looking around to see like where the hole is at. And this is when Deku pretty much just puts a construct to where they can't see it. Not only that, he turned it pure black, so nobody can see through it, even though it's there. And the girls are actually appreciative of this because Jiro says, "Oh, well, that's sweet of him." And Deku gets, you know, praised a little bit in this part. But since Deku's the first one to go, they're all ready to like do their own thing. Now, days go. The whole freaking quirk assessment test. When that happens, Deku pretty much. We'll just talk about Deku. Like, since Deku grabs his freaking force field or his construct, and he makes a square, like a cube, and he puts the ball in it. And after that, he expands the cube, turning it wider and wider and wider until the ball is squeezed to its limit. And Deku just frisbee that thing. And he frisbee it so hard that basically Deku frisbees it. He throws it like a frisbee, and it's basically like so far that it's still flying. And the thing is, the construct, he's letting it still like stay up in the air. He's technically not cheating, but people would think it's cheating. Uraraka still gets first place because his isn't infinite. It's just there in the sky. But either way, if Uraraka still has infinity. Infinity. Okay. Now, what else? Okay. Deku goes into the running exam. And, well, he pretty much just starts yeeting all the way. And the thing about that is, he's using the shield to push himself. And not only that, he turned it to like a pole. And he's starting to make like a pole and extends so powerfully or so strong and so fast that he technically is going faster than the others. Now, Deku goes and pretty much beats, Ida, because the whole fact that he can run faster than Deku, but because of his stamina, he doesn't actually tire out. And everybody says, like, oh wow, he's so strong. And people think that he's pretty much handsome or adorable because of the whole fact that he has, like, he looks exactly like this guy right here. Minus the clothing. No. Add the clothing, but pretty much just put the UA uniforms on. There we go. So Deku is pretty much in first place with a lot of them, except for the ball throw. Uraraka still wins. And for the jump, well, Deku pretty much just, how do I say it? He's pretty much running on top of his shields or his constructs, making it to where he can pretty much not actually be on the ground. So that's kind of like an infinite thing. But either way, Deku is pretty much like has good attributes, like strength-wise, his ability to stay in the fight for for infinite amount of time. And now we get to the whole point of how do I say it? We get to the whole point where Deku now has to like fight Bakugo in the whole, in the whole heroes versus villains exam. Deku being the hero still, and Bakugo being the villain. Now, Momo's actually a part of this because I don't know, to be honest. It's because of the fact that these two might have a lot in common. And not only that, she can make things. Hold on here. She can make things, but Deku couldn't make them in, like, he can make them, but not make them. They're still, the constructs are gonna be gone, but he's making stuff like basic objects right now. He's pretty much using a wall, pretty much makes a blade out of his shield, or his construct. So yeah, he's pretty much weird, but it's also good. Now, what Deku does is pretty much to just say, alright, we're gonna go walk now, and he pretty much sets two barriers on both sides, and then he's starting to build one on the other sides, basically front, back, left, right, up and down, pretty much making a cube, where he's walking, and he's pushing the thing there. And Bakugo, ready to like beat the crap out of him, because since he can technically hurt him and he can regenerate, Deku doesn't have a chance in Bakugo's mind. But as far as we know, he's not going to actually win. So Deku actually becomes much more, how do I say it? Well, Bakugo gets more excited and more, like, angry with the fact that he let Deku have, like, not a cheap shot, but it's like, because of him, Bakugo was in last place, and everybody, like, not last place, but he was last to go in most of the race, or most of like the exam. So he felt kind of like he needs to get his honor back. But Bakugo is pretty much just starting to find them, and he pretty much just tries to break them, and they're breaking. But thing is, Deku is regenerating as much as Bakugo's breaking them, and Bakugo realizes that he's going to have to be creative, and he lets out one of his gauntlets, and it pretty much you hear a massive explosion. But no, there's no but about it. Deku actually, his barrier breaks, and Momo is actually very scared because the whole fact that they could be hurt, and she doesn't know if Deku has a plan. But Bakugo is saying, "You want to go at it again? Oh, we'll go at it again." And Deku punches him, and Bakugo realizes that this punch was weak, and he says, "Did you just punch me without using strength?" And the thing about that is, since he didn't actually punch him hard, it's just saying like, "Oh, you're weak." So Bakugo pretty much tries to punch him. Deku gets punched, but he actually headbutts him. And this is when Deku is just being exploded on impact. But he gets up again with his wounds all healed and pretty much pushing him backwards. And he gets exploded, and he pushes him, and he punches him, and gets exploded again. So this goes on for a couple of like 30 seconds until Deku grabs him and he says, "Go, I'll handle him." And pretty much she starts running the other direction, and Bakugo says, "No, you don't." And Deku pretty much creates a wall, and now they're inside the wall. So pretty much Bakugo doesn't know he's inside of a wall. It's the whole fact that now everything's invisible. And this is when Bakugo says, "So, you put down your walls, have you?" And Deku says, "And what's the point? If you're going to try to hurt me with your ultimate attack, you might as well try. But I doubt it's even going to work." And this is when Bakugo gets mad and says, "I'll show you." And pretty much you lets out the other one. That was his fatal mistake. You see, Deku can make constructs invisible, making it harder for anybody to see, but the flaw about this is that he can't make a train without actually envisioning it. So, it's basically, if he's trying to make a sword invisible, he's going to have to concentrate harder. Because the whole fact that since he's trying to, like, do it, it sometimes, like, disappears. An invisible wall? Easy. Something a little bit more complex? It's gonna be a tough one. But Deku made a wall, and not only that, a couple, basically a weird, like, cone-shaped thing, to where it reverses, the attack of Bakugo's reverses back to him. And Deku says, "I'm sorry, but I couldn't just let you explode me anymore." And Bakugo's left arm is pretty much just in pain. Not only that, it's purplish. And this is when Bakugo says, "I have my other arm still." And Deku, making a bow staff, pretty much just hits freaking. Well, he hits Bakugo's freaking stomach, and he hits him in his face. And not only that, he's starting just to hit him in different directions, pretty much just weakening him. And Deku is just starting to say, "Don't worry, I won't kill you." But he gets a freaking what is that word called? He gets something and he turns it into like a weird pan-shaped object and pretty much just slaps him with it, causing Bakugo to lose consciousness and Deku just proceeding on. Now, you guys may be thinking, why aren't we getting the hyper regeneration? Like, why aren't you showing more of that? Thing is, his hyper regeneration is good on its own, but it's only good defensively. Offensively, yes. Not only that, the power within him is very strong, but he needs something on the offense and on defense. So, by making something to where he can regenerate would be his offensiveness and attack and his healing factor, but with the shields, it would be his defense and his stamina power. So, shield would be stamina, and attack would be health. It's a weird concept, but I made it to where it's good enough to actually use. So anyway, Deku just heads on, while Momo is actually trying to like run away because she's pretty much like Uraraka did. Pretty much laughs at Ida trying to do something like villainous, like, "Ha! You thought it was what's it called? You thought it was another villain, but it was I, Ida." Oh boy, this is just, it is sometimes cringy, but anyway, Deku just sees Ida grabbing her and trying to like pin her to the ground as let me just say it. He's trying to actually like tie her up so she can be captured, and Deku just pretty much runs at top speed, or at his top speed, and just clotheslines freaking Ida. Ida feels this, and he gets up again. Immediately he gets up because of the whole fact that he doesn't want to lose consciousness, but Deku pretty much just, well, he grabs his freaking arm and with the strength that he has already, just pulls him and turns him around and around and around and around and around. Pretty much doing this, and Deku does not get freaking vertigo, because the whole, or if you don't know what vertigo means, vertigo is just a simpler term of concussion, or pretty much dizziness. So, Deku's in the clear. Ida, on the other hand, is not in the clear. He's pretty much just already on the ground, tired, beaten, and dizzy. Has a wicked headache. Deku pretty much grabs the bomb, and he wins. Now, Bakugo is like very mad. Like, so much in fact that he really wanted to win, but the fact that he lost is his downfall. Bakugo is mad at himself for losing. Ida is sad at the fact that he was trying to win, but because of Deku's resilience, and not only that, his will to just keep pushing forward, he kind of respects Deku. Maybe not as much as like he does with All Might or his big brother, but there's some respect right there. Meanwhile, Bakugo is just pretty much seething with anger. But Bakugo would one day learn his ways. Hopefully so. But anyway, I'm going to end it off here because I will probably either do another What If, or I might not because I got work today. Today was just a pretty much wicked headache. Heck, I might do part 2 to this, or I might just... Actually, I'm going to tell you guys this. Comment down below if you think I should do What If Deku was the new Dragon Warrior? What if Deku was the reincarnation of Trunks? What if Deku was... what if Deku was a Tenno? Or what if Deku was the, I forgot what the word was. Or it could be one of my older what ifs. And I'll try to do my older what ifs if you guys want, or you guys can make me do my new what ifs. But either way, I must go. Like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. It's been the Fallout What If here. Bye.